This is Backdoor Boink, where we welcome every side of everyone. Please note, this is an 18-plus podcast. It's time to put in some earbuds if you don't want to answer awkward questions from your children, family, or friends. I'm Kayla, a certified relationship and intimacy coach.
And I'm MJ, and I brought the lube.
In this podcast, we explore the behind the scenes of a weekly wellness topic reviewed on our YouTube channel. Our goal is to help you feel good, be naughty. Thank you for checking out our After Dark, After Hours podcast. You can find more information, including our YouTube channel, social media accounts, events, Discord, and products at boinked.com. That's www.boink-ed.com. Now, let's get in that back door. Hello, hello.
Greetings and hallucinations. My keys.
Why are you shaking keys?
They're the keys to my gate.
Oh.
You can't get in.
Okay.
Mine.
Wow. That's how you're going to be. You're going to be one of those members.
Do you play by my rules?
No, never. I'm a brat.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to be one of those people of the BDSM community, huh? You're loving that jingle jangle way too much.
Christmas is coming.
It sounds very, very Christmassy. It is a set of keys, but it does sound very Christmassy.
No, I'm not going to be one of those people.
Well, that'll be our topic for tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is what, week 3 without an outline for me?
Yeah.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants?
I mean, you've been doing really well.
I like the outline.
I know. But you've been doing really well. I've gotten a lot of good feedback. Oh, yeah, so that reminds me. We did get a listener request.
Oh.
A question when I posted, what should we talk about next week?
Okay.
So the question was, is too much foreplay too much? Or is it never enough?
I would say yes. You can have too much foreplay. Can you have too many appetizers before a meal?
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, I like my appetizers, and I'll probably pig out on them, but enough is enough. Where's the main meal?
I want to say that it really is a case-by-case basis,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to the partners to decide what is enough and what is too much. I mean, technically there's no such thing as too much, if that's what you two have decided.
Right.
Or even if that's what one of you have decided. You don't want to go any further. You just want this.
Then it needs to be communicated that I just want the foreplay right now.
Yeah.
I'm not down for the full meal.
Yeah. What is that called when you go to a restaurant and everything's the little nibbles and you share them all and you just make a meal of that?
I don't remember.
I never went to one. They were really popular for a while. But like that, everybody agrees to go and just have the nibbles and share and fill up on appetizers. That's fine, especially if you're using that to build up to something later on, you know, as long as it's communicated.
That right there is the key, is it needs to be communicated. And if it's not, then the other person needs to speak up and say, well, time out. I'm loving the appetizer, but I do want some of the main dish once in a while.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. I'm glad that we had that question, especially after 2 episodes of foreplay, you know, front door, back door. So it's a good question.
Butt stuff.
But I was waiting for it. By the way, I've been getting texts all week from you just saying butt stuff.
You're welcome.
It makes me giggle every time now, so it's great. All right, so gatekeeping. This came up as an idea for a topic because I'm doing so many of the rope classes. So what is your definition of gatekeeping?
I wouldn't really say I have a firm definition, but the idea of gatekeeping is, in my mind, you got to do it my way. You got to play by my rules for me to share my secrets, my knowledge, my information. I'm not going to just freely give it away. You have to kind of earn it. You have to prove yourself worthy.
You have to prove yourself worthy according to my criteria.
My standards.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So gatekeeping really, a really good vanilla comparison is how the news was gatekept for so long. It used to be you could only get your news through newspapers and the television or the radio.
Okay.
because journalists were the one going out there. They've got their degrees, they have their code of conduct and all of that, and they were the ones going out there and getting the information, and they were the ones publishing it. Now, news is no longer gatekept.
Anybody with a smartphone can be a news reporter.
Absolutely. And anybody with an opinion can post it on the internet. Anybody can write articles. Anybody can doctor videos. There is no such thing as, a lock and key on news anymore.
No. Now it's who can get it out the quickest. It doesn't have to be accurate. It just has to be out there first.
Exactly. So there are, yes, benefits to some gatekeeping. For the news, we were getting some level of accuracy. Again, humans by nature are biased, so we were obviously getting some of that too.
Yeah, we're still getting one-sided news, but...
Right. But now we're living in a world where anybody can put up anything they want, and it's not necessarily true. But freedom of speech, freedom of information, we're also getting some accurate, true information that we might not have seen otherwise. It doesn't have that ability to be swept under the rug anymore.
Right. I mean, I don't watch the news on TV. Where do I get my news from?
Sky News on your phone.
Or?
British News.
BBC.
BBC, yeah.
Right. And occasionally I'll search ABC or NBC, MSN, but...
You mostly look into the local news, if anything.
Yeah.
Because you're a nosy, old, grumpy man.
Yes.
So that's a good concept of what gatekeeping is. Now, there is a lot of that going on in the BDSM community.
There is. A lot. It's not fair.
It's not, which is one of the reasons I do what I do and why we're doing this podcast, for example. But I have noticed, so there's a couple areas of kink specifically where there's a lot of gatekeeping. And the biggest one so far is rope or shibari.
Why?
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that this particular piece of BDSM is steeped in tradition.
Okay. How many of these gatekeepers went over and studied shibari?
Overseas, right?
Overseas.
Right.
Or how many of them learned it from a friend who learned it from a friend?
Who learned it from a friend. Yes.
Who learned it from YouTube?
It's like tattooing.
Right.
It's like tattooing, where you can have amazing artists, but a tattoo artist does not want to teach them because then there's more of them out there. My gosh. And you don't meet my criteria. Same thing for shibari artists.
There's more of them out there in my style.
Exactly.
I'll teach you how to tie a knot, but I'm not going to teach you anything else.
Right?
Go figure it out yourself. Go watch a YouTube video, read a book, whatever. But this is all I'm going to teach you. Oh, and don't do this and don't do this. Have a nice day.
Good luck. Yeah. So when I started the rope class, my introduction to it was telling people that the purpose of this class is to give them the safety that they need, number one. And the second goal was to kind of give them permission to practice this, give them permission to explore it. The same thing that, I'm hoping people do with sexuality and desire and orgasm and all of that as well. Giving people the quote unquote permission. You are just having way too much fun with your tea bag again. I'm trying to focus here.
Oh, sorry.
Trying to say something serious.
Not sorry.
You're not sorry. I don't even know what I was saying. But anyway.
Giving people permission.
Quote unquote permission. It's not that I have any sense of authority to do that. But on the same time, some people need that sense of
it's
what
okay.
I'm doing is okay. So this has actually been really interesting because you can't always tell when it's gatekeeping. So, for example, we had a class, and prior to our class, I received a message on our business profile on FetLife. And the individual started out as though they were inquiring to attend as a guest, as a student of the rope class. And once I told them, the plans for the class, they then responded with, "Oh, I'm a co-host for a rope group at another location. I am very concerned about your instructor and the safety," and it went on and on and on and on. That is one of my greatest concerns, is individuals using safety, again, air quotes here, safety as a scapegoat, as an excuse for what is really gatekeeping. I'm not going out there and, telling people, here's a knot, here's a hitch, go ahead, tie somebody up, good luck, try not to kill someone, try not to maim someone.
No.
Before this person, jumped on the safety bandwagon, I had sent them all of my credentials, all the information, and this individual has no credentials that I could find.
Nope. I mean, other than a few pictures on their account.
Yeah, it was very concerning. So I want people to be aware of keeping an open ear for safety tips, but being very cognizant of the fact that a lot of times this can be used to monopolize programs or gatekeep information for those deemed worthy enough to have it.
Ooh, are you worthy?
Probably not. Probably not. There's a special place somewhere waiting for me. But
But you have the information and you're willing to share it.
I'm willing to share it after I have shared all the safety. Every class, even if it's repetition for my clients, it's always the safety review first.
And that covers you.
It's not about that. It's not even about the
But
liability.
that covers you. That covers your mental state going, I went over this with them multiple times.
Yes.
I know that I've repeated it, and if they have questions, they can stop and ask.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once we go over the safety, the first thing I do is, does anybody have any questions or anything they want to add? I'm constantly asking my clients if they have anything that needs to be added. I'm only one human.
Yeah.
And while the course is very, very thorough, I'm only one human.
It's a basic course. It's thorough. And you've had people who have had years of rope experience just come to attend. Mm-hmm. Just to check you out.
And that's fine.
And
I will never be against somebody vetting me, my knowledge, my background. And if they have feedback, I am open to it. I just want to make sure that they're going into it from the right intentions. Oh, and what was really nice is the other day, one of my clients came up to me before the class and recited, word for word almost, the safety criteria. Before we even started anything, it made my day. I'm like, whatever you take away from this, you've got the safety stuff. And that's really important.
cool.
Yeah. All right. What other areas of BDSM do we see gatekeeping?
Well, we have rope. I mean, that is probably one of the biggest.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest.
Trying to think. I mean, certain aspects of impact, when you get into the more fancier
I could see that.
tools, I would think, when you get into the dragon's tails and the whip, that sort of stuff.
Sometimes what I worry about with kink and BDSM is that the price, maybe even inadvertently.
Yeah, but you see that with a lot of things lately.
Like what?
Groceries.
We're gatekeeping food now?
I got 4 bags for $200 yesterday.
Oh, that's rough. You're clearly a little salty about that. And
Just a little bit.
I understand.
But anyway, back to the gatekeeping of kink, BDSM. Yeah, I would say that retailers.
Yeah, because it's so niche, they can get away with charging a lot.
And I'm not talking the artists themselves.
No, I'm not talking about small
I'm talking
right.
the distributors.
Large distributors.
Even the high, the producers.
Yes. The manufacturers. That's what you're looking for.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm not talking about small business artists who create and put in time and put in thought and energy, these one-of-a-kind pieces.
Right.
That's fantastic. But in general, big manufacturers and distributors jacking up prices on things that they're pumping out by the thousands, 100,000s, whatever.
Yeah. It costs them $5 to make. They're selling it for $25 to their distributors, and the distributors are then jacking it up even more to the mom and pop shops.
By the time it gets to the customer, it's $150.
Yep.
And that's not fair. Think about when we started Kink and our budget.
It's the same then as it is now.
Okay, yes, but there was a period of time. Okay, so we were like budget kinksters, and then we both had 2 full-time jobs where I sold my soul and you sold your sanity. I think that's a good way to describe it. I sold my soul, you sold your sanity. It's fine. And we had dual income, you know, and we had money.
We had, from time to time, a little extra to throw in the toy box.
In the toy box, right. And now we're back to budget kinksters. And that's what makes me very conscious about the options that are on our shelves. Like, we have some small business artists that we support.
We do.
But on the other hand, we find some stuff that people can get started with.
Good quality stuff.
Yes.
That you don't mark up very much.
No.
But if I were to go buy that same product at a bigger store, I'd be paying 2x, 3 times as much.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. From what I understand, too, like brick and mortar stores, because of their overhead, they have significantly more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while I do want to one day have a brick and mortar place for people to come in and do classes there or whatever we decide
Fondle
to do.
the toys, whatever.
Hands-on toys, yeah. I get enough calls that people are like, hey, where's your store? I do want to do that, but not if it means making these products inaccessible to the people that I'm trying to help.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why I wonder.
So what you're saying is you're geared towards the budget kinkster.
I'm geared towards the whole range.
Yeah.
I have stuff for the budget kinkster that is quality for its price. Because I have seen so many, for example, I've just seen so many cock rings, constriction rings, but we're calling them cock rings because that's how people know them.
Right.
Seen so many cock rings just snap and break, those little jelly ones with like the little bullet. You get them in a little cellophane bag.
Yeah, you might as well get them out of the 50-cent machine at the...
the old little turn machines. The gumball machines.
Yeah, the gumball machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to sell anything like that. Why throw your money away, for example?
Spend a little extra money.
A little. Yep.
And get something that you can wash and reuse.
Yeah.
Recharge even.
Oh, goodness forbid. I don't think we have any battery-operated things.
No.
Okay. So, yes, I worry that price even. I don't know that that's the intention, the way things are
Everybody's looking to make money.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess.
I'm looking to make money. I'll be the first one to admit it. But I'm not going to go say, you got to jack the prices, because, no, we bought it. We own it. We can sell it for what we need to sell it for. To cover overhead.
To be clear, since we're talking about this, I don't know exactly what our business procedures have to do with gatekeeping, but there are a lot of manufacturers that have a MRSP, minimum required sale price. They do tell you, you cannot market this
less than this dollar amount.
And that is becoming an industry standard. And I can see where that's coming from. You end up with a lot of stuff that like fell off trucks and ends up on eBay or Amazon, that sort of thing.
Right.
But hopefully people aren't buying from that. So, you know, it's my business. I spent the money. I should be able to charge what I think is appropriate for it.
Yep.
Anyway, gatekeeping.
Just knowledge in general.
Ooh.
You have, and I'm not specifically calling this group out because I'm sure they're willing to share and interact, but you have people like Olgard who you start at the bottom. You want to be at the top, you start at the bottom. You got to earn it, you got to learn it, you got to work your way up. I don't know much about them. I've not done a lot of my research into that.
So, to be clear, are we talking your requirement is to start as a submissive?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I mean, I see the logic.
Mm-hmm. There's a logic behind it.
But logic isn't always the best course in BDSM. I mean, that can be against somebody's like very nature and interests and desires and...
But you know going into it.
Risk-aware consensual kink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You may not want to be, but for the knowledge that you're going to get out of that group of people.
Is that coercion at that point? I don't know.
You're freely walking into it, and you can walk away anytime.
Okay.
You know that.
I have mixed feelings on it. I do think it's important for anyone that is a dominant. See, I guess here's my distinction. I feel that it's very important for anyone who is a dominant to understand the physical nature of what they are putting onto another person. I don't know that I necessarily think that beyond hitting themselves with the paddle or something of that nature, that they need to get into the head space and live an experience as a submissive. That's a whole different fuckfest.
It is. So, yeah, it's a type of gatekeeping.
Yeah.
But you have your options.
You do.
You can go elsewhere.
But do people know that?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope they know that they can go elsewhere. It's also difficult to find trusted sources.
Right.
I think one of the things that I find to be gate-kept, and I don't know that it's entirely gate-kept so much as it's made difficult. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Dungeon spaces.
I don't think that's gate-kept.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
I think it boils down to finances.
Dungeons are not cheap.
They're not.
To run or to visit.
Right. State and local laws.
Yeah.
Think about it.
No, I do.
How hard is it to get a liquor license? Just a one-day venue liquor license. How many hoops do you have to jump through to get that?
It's ridiculous.
Now you want to get a license or permission to get a dungeon where people might have some sort of sexy time?
May or may not even include penetration. A lot of dungeons don't allow penetration.
And that's based on state and local laws.
Right.
So, yeah, you can go play, but you can't get off.
Well.
So the state's gatekeeping you.
The state's gatekeeping. They do that a lot with a lot of things. So I don't expect that. But I think in a community, and that's just it. We call it the BDSM community, the Kink community. That suggests a sense of connection, a sense of sharing that isn't always found.
Nope.
And for me, the dungeon stuff, I'll be honest, I've never visited a dungeon. I really
We were looking at going to one on an open house night, and COVID hit.
Oh, yes.
And now that place doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's right. In Connecticut. Yup, they did not come back. And I don't know if it's that I haven't put in the full effort, that our schedules are not always aligned, or sometimes there's a lot of hoops to jump through, and I get it. It's safety. It really is.
Yeah. The dungeon wants to vet you and your partner or partners. And for the dungeon, that's, good on them. But by the time they get back to you and go, hey, you're clear. Yeah, I'm not interested anymore. I've lost interest. I've moved on to something else.
as some kinksters do tend to do.
Yep. Or, like you said, your schedule, our moods.
Yeah.
Finances that week,
Whatever it might be.
Something came up, and we just haven't been able to make it.
Okay. So I think it's safe to say that dungeons aren't intentionally gatekept.
No.
That is a legitimate matter of safety.
Right.
And state guidelines and regulations.
Right.
That's fair. I really would love it if we made it a point to go to a dungeon.
Dungeon or a club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think we should make it a point to do that.
Okay.
I mean, we have clients that go, and
we do.
There's definitely some camps that I would be interested. I might have to go for business purposes.
No, you won't like it.
Why?
A, you won't put on your sunscreen. B, you won't drink your water. C, you will get carried away by the bugs. Do I need to go on? Sleeping on the hard ground in a tent.
You're making me sound like a princess.
Oh, that you're not.
Right. I can rough it with the best of them.
You're just a pasty white girl who gets a sunburn from fluorescent lights.
This is not untrue.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is that we're coming out of the season of these, festival outdoor camps. So we don't have to worry about that pretty much till next year.
Mm-hmm.
But, letting you stew on it in your brain.
Yeah. We know how I work.
Yeah. It's going to take you
6 to 8 months to consider it.
Anywhere from 3 days to 6 to 8 months, depending on the topic. So it's fine. It's fine. That is my go-to motto lately. It's fine.
Seems to be a lot of people's go-to motto lately.
We just gotta roll with it now.
Roll with it. It's fine. It's all fine. World's still a dumpster fire 3 years later. It's all good.
I think that was said in our very first episode. Yep. The world is a dumpster fire. Just roll with it.
Yep.
Okay.
What else do you have?
On my non-existent outline?
Yeah. Or the pedestal you were on about gatekeeping.
I think that generally, it's a very broad subject. I'm trying to think of anything more specific.
I mean, I can understand certain things, like electroplay, being a little more protected. But I know there's people out there willing to teach you, willing to take you, and guide you.
I don't think of electroplay as gate kept.
No.
I find in my experience that electroplay, they are very much willing to share.
Mm-hmm.
There are safety concerns.
They're protective until you understand the safety.
Yep. And then it's a matter, again, of finances.
Yeah.
Electro
is pricey.
Very, very pricey.
I can buy rope for $15.
Yeah.
I can buy an electro wand for $150 with no attachments.
Yeah, that's not going to do you any good.
Yeah.
No attachments. Yeah, I want to say they're in the realm of $150, $200 to start out.
That's for a lower end.
Yep. And so nobody's going to dish that out to try it,
Nope.
just to try it. So what you end up with is a select few who have the money to spare, who have bought it. Now they, either like it or don't, and they're willing to share that. But there's only so many of them.
Yeah.
What are the chances that you're going to find one in your neck of the woods who is going to be comfortable with sharing that experience with you? It's not so much a matter of gatekeeping. It's a matter of finances and the stars just aligning.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. I don't know. Would you try some electro
Yeah,
play?
why not?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Could I zap your turgid schlong?
No,
No.
we'd have to work up to that.
Okay. I have seen some really interesting electro stim toys.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, there's one where you put a little metal pad in your hip, and you become the electric conductor.
Mm-hmm.
So then all you have to do is touch another person, and they can feel the zippy zaps. So there's no actual wand that you're waving around at somebody.
So it's like a oversized TENS unit.
Essentially.
Oh, neat.
I'm not super well versed in it,
Yeah.
so, we'll go with that.
We'll have to get well versed in it.
We will. We'll have to do that.
I have jumper cables.
No.
And a brand new battery in my car.
I don't know why I just grabbed my nipples.
Yeah, they're not pierced. Don't worry about it.
It still sounds ouchy.
It does.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, I think once we get to a place where we can do that, I would love to invest in the time, knowledge, and equipment and offer that as a class as well.
I think what we need to do is find somebody who has
Experience.
and see if they're willing to do a quick demo.
Come do a guest spot.
Yeah.
At one of our classes or something, or a munch, a little demo.
Come do a demo.
That would be awesome.
Or even one of us go for a demo to see if it's something we'd even be interested in.
I love that idea. So if anybody knows somebody, or if you are the somebody who has the equipment, who has the experience, some knowledge, reach out to us.
Be local.
Be local. I mean, here's the thing. I'm willing to travel. I'm still looking for additional spaces to host our class.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking for gyms. I'm looking for yoga studios. I'm looking for dance studios. Those seem to be the best across New England.
What I mean by being local is don't be in Alaska, don't be in Hawaii, don't be in California.
Oh, that does not help us. We cannot fly you to come visit. No, so New England, and maybe a little bit south of New England, because you were saying, where does New England stop?
Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, those are the borders.
Okay, see, I'm willing to go
In Canada.
New Jersey.
Right.
I'm willing to drive. Like a 6-hour drive from Western Massachusetts.
We can make a weekend out of it. Whatever.
It's no big deal to me because I'm so used to going up and down the full coast. So it's fine.
Right.
It's fine. All right. So yeah, if you know somebody or know somebody who knows somebody or you are the somebody,
Put us in touch.
please jump on our Discord or send a contact form. Just comment on this podcast even. We still haven't gotten any voice messages. I'm harping on this. I want somebody to grow some ovaries, jump on there. I want to hear some voices other than your Grady growly.
What?
Your Grady growly stare that you're giving me. It has a sound, man.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's Grady and Growly.
Your glare has a feeling. Anyway, anything else you want to add tonight? Anything else you want to talk about?
There's nothing that I can think of, but if you know of something that's being gatekept, get in touch with us. We'll do our research. We'll find out what we need to know.
Yeah, we'll get you the information you need to explore something.
We'll point you in the right direction to somebody willing to share it.
I love that. Yeah.
You're welcome. I just created more work for you.
You did. You created more work for me, but
We have enough connections in the community where somebody's got to know somebody.
Somebody's got to know somebody or know something, but that's really important. We can't just be sitting here spouting off problems and not be willing to solve them.
Right.
I'm doing my best to solve what I can for the rope stuff in this general region. It's small. It's a start, but that's a really great point. Please reach out to us. Absolutely. You're so smart.
Some days. I mean, we're not going to get you the information overnight.
No. It might take a couple days.
But we'll at least reach out to people who know people and get you a starting point to get that information. And maybe get some ourselves.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, and I already know what I want to talk about next week.
More butt stuff?
Oh, you're obsessed now.
Lube?
No. I want to talk LGBTQ stuff.
Okay.
Because you mentioned my soapbox.
Yeah.
You mentioned my soapbox, and I have...
Plenty of soapboxes.
Wow.
Oh.
I would prefer to call them educational podiums.
Uh-huh. AKA soapbox.
Oh my gosh. So
Pedestals.
Wow. Pedestals. Wow. I do not think that highly of myself. Educational podiums. I want to get up on my educational podium next week and talk some LGBTQ. And since I know we have some different opinions about these things, it'll be kind of interesting.
I will plead the fifth the whole night.
No. Because the idea is that it is good to have different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And I love you regardless of how idiotic your opinions are. No, I'm just kidding. I love you and I value your opinions. There are a lot of times that you bring forth an opinion that does steer me in another direction. Maybe not a full-ass U-turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be an opening in this seat from next week forward. Please send all information.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, all right, fine. Please forward your applications to mjwb@boinked.com. Wow.
Yeah, I'll be happy to review them.
Oh my gosh. I promise I'll be gentle. It'll be good.
I'm not bringing lube next week. That's on you.
I will apply the appropriate amount of foreplay. That's why I'm bringing it up now. This is our foreplay to warm you up about the discussion for next week. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I can't tell if you're smiling to keep from crying.
Ladies and gentlemen, she will forget by next week. And she'll say to me, "What are we talking about tonight?"
All right. I legitimately don't want you to remind me because I want to see what the heck happens. Because it's on record now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Do you have a naughty limerick for us?
No.
What?
Why would I want to do that?
Funny, not funny.
There once was a fellow McSweeney who spilled some gin on his weenie. Just to be cluth, he added vermouth, then slipped his girlfriend a martini.
Ah! Oh my gosh, I really, really like that one.
Now I want a martini. Not that type, but I want a martini.
Not that type? You don't want anybody to slip you the martini?
No.
Okay. That one, I like that one quite a lot. I'm going to have to read that one and memorize it. It's a good one. Are you ready to say goodnight to everybody?
No.
Oh.
Because that means I have to go to bed.
You should go to bed. You should do that.
Okay. Good night.
He says with the utmost excitement. Clearly he's ready for bed. Well, I appreciate you all. As always, please feel free to reach out to us. There's contact forms on the website. Feel free to contact us on the website. Reach out, leave us a voice message, drop a comment, however you'd like. There's all different ways, different strokes for different folks.
Would somebody please leave her a voice message?
Anyway, in the meantime, until next week, stay you, stay beautiful, feel good, be naughty. Good night. Thanks again for listening to this podcast. I started Boink in 2022 with the goal to create a safe environment and culture for all genders and sexual orientations, to learn about and embrace every part of themselves and one another. We offer workshops, events, and various inclusive products, along with consultations to make sure we take a holistic approach to enhancing individuals' sexual satisfaction with themselves or their partners. I believe that when you accept yourself and your partner on the most intimate of levels, it filters out into your daily life. The World Health Organization recognizes this, saying sexual health is fundamental to the overall health and well-being of individuals, couples, and families, and to the social and economic development of communities and countries. So as long as you'll have us, Boink will be here. Kink affirming, gender blurring, sex fulfilling. And you can find any of our details at www.boink-ed.com.